Ever since forever, when I was a little girl, I wanted to become a doctor. To give you a sense of my family and the society, I was told by both my parents and the high school guidance counselor that I should become a nurse and marry a doctor. So my whole dating experience in high school and in college was to boys. And I dated a doctor in college, and then I was smitten. I have never been so smitten. There was this woman. I grew up in a WASP neighborhood, and I had never met Jews. And there was this woman that was Jewish, and she was just, her eyes, the way she moved, her sense of things, and I would go to places just to see her pass by. And then somebody was house sitting, or was going out of town, and they asked if we would house sit. And so we house sat, and the next thing we knew, we were in each other's arms. And I fell in love, we fell in love, before I knew the word lesbian. She ended up starting the Gay Liberation Front in Todd Union, and I had just graduated, and people from the city would come out to the Todd Union and tell our stories. And we had these questions of asking of new people, when did you come out, and when did you come out to your parents, and what did it feel like, and all these different questions that we'd ask. And basically, so many people's stories were so similar that I found it rather shocking. And I found it rather comforting, actually, because for the first time in my life, I felt like I really belonged. These people were just like me. I didn't stand out like a sore thumb. And it was just wonderful. And then we ended up going to a march, the first march in New York City. And what a celebration. I mean, talk about really belonging. And people were standing on the street because they'd never seen gays and lesbians, and some people were standing on the street and they would say, "Come on, march with us." And they'd join us. And I remember there was a dance studio way up, a couple floors up, and there were all these male dancers hanging out the window screaming, "Hello, hello, we're with you, we're with you." It was an exciting event. And then we had the first one here in Rochester. And this picture is the Gay Liberation Dance. It was the first gay dance in Rochester. It was at the U of R. It was in the Frederick Douglass building. And what a joyous event. We decorated for it, and it was giddy joyous. It was just, and then people would dance with each other. Men would dance with men, and women with women, and women with men, and men with women, and sometimes we danced as a foursome, and it was just so celebratory. And this is the first poster, and I had it framed, and it's just very, very fond memories. And one of the things that I like to do with the Gay Liberation Front, as we called it, the GLF, was speaking engagements. And sometimes I would do like 6 speaking engagements in a week. And I just went everywhere. We went to churches, we went to schools, we went to mosques. No, not mosques. We went to temples, city council, everywhere. And then I was living with Marge and Timo. No, I hadn't met Timo before. I was living with Marge. And Timo Maines, who was a social studies teacher out of Greece Arcadia High School, called up the Gay Liberation Front Speakers Bureau and said, could you have some speakers come out to my high school, my class? And so we went to, it was the first time we'd ever been invited into a high school. And we walked, there was 4 of us, 2 men and 2 women. And we walked into the high school, and the kids followed us around like they'd never seen lesbians and gays. And I felt like a movie star. These kids, they just followed us everywhere. And then we had a presentation, and we answered their questions. And their questions were so honest and real, and unlike the questions that adults ask, they were just like really from the heart, and it was wonderful. And then Timo, and he left teaching, and Timo, Marge, and I lived together, and we didn't have much money for heat, and so I would sleep in the middle because I had a hot body, and the two of them would sleep on each side in the winter. And that's my early times.